Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're joining us. Welcome to the Brunch Gimmick. I am Laurence Cartier, and this week I am joined by the voice of LPW himself, Big Bad Boris. Boris, how you doing?
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea. Good morning,
and we're gonna get DMCA'd. So, Pluggo, how are you doing today?
And I proudly stand up next.
And there is no one else on the show today, just me, the one true Canadian. Sandy, how you doing? How's everything in Germany? We've got Fernando in the chat. Zach popping in to say hi. Pluggo reminding us to smash that like button and not singing any songs that could get us DMCA, because I think that family sues.
Where Lee Greenwood wouldn't do such a thing. Okay.
How was everyone's week?
Hi,
how are you
Laurence.
doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. I had a solid Saturday Night Love with some fun guests, watching a classic Alberta wrestling show last night, and I'm good.
Well, Mrs. Pluggo's awake now because of our beautiful singing. Why?
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, sweetheart.
Well,
Wow. We're getting some controversy here.
that's okay. That's okay. We've decided last week that I now love Mrs. Boris as much as he loves Mrs. Pluggo. So, Mrs. Boris, how you doing?
I'll
For
pass
those
that
who know,
on.
there's a pineapple in the front of both of their yards. That's a swingers joke, folks.
Hey,
That's got to be upside down.
Key
Though.
parties.
It's got to be upside down.
hey.
I read a story that supposedly if you put a box of Tide in your window, that's like a sign that your man's away and like it's go time. I don't know if there's any truth to that. And I know we took a hard left on this show already, but
yep. That's part of my fault. But
Currently,
I don't know if that's the actual thing. I know the pineapple, like the upside down.
Currently checking our laundry room to see if Mrs. Pluggo buys. She does
What
not.
does gain mean? What does putting gain in the window mean?
What does it mean to put the Target off-brand laundry detergent in the window?
Solely hand stuff.
Zach is not amused right now.
He shouldn't have left. This is his fault.
I think Zach regrets the day that I became part of the Love Wrestling family, to be perfectly
I think
honest.
he regrets the day all of us became.
I mean, I am strictly his fault. I'm solely on him.
Me too. Me too. He's like, yeah, I'll have this random dude on NWA Power out, and then the rest is history. He's been pulling his hair out ever since.
First off, Pluggo.
Yes.
Big week for you. Your Irish make it to the national championship.
True. That's true.
Notre Dame.
Listen.
Qualified. How are you feeling?
I feel great because, as I said, that game was a roller coaster ride of emotions, but I wanted to win that game more than I actually want to win the national championship, as crazy as it sounds, because at least I can say, like, we got over that hump. We're there. Everybody's already said Ohio State's going to dominate and beat us no matter what. So when we do beat them, it'll shock the world. It's going to be awesome. But at least, like, you know what I'm saying? We're in the national title game. We've made it. We're there. We're going to take care of business next week, I hope. But
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
Did you go to Notre Dame, or like how did you become a fan?
I live in
Usually you're
South
a fan
Bend.
of. Oh, so that's just how
I live 5 minutes from the stadium, so I grew up on Notre Dame football.
Okay. Yeah, college sports to me I find very oddly interesting because in the States it's so huge, and here it's like a next to nothing.
It's more like fans are more fanatical than the NFL. Like that's like you're a part of your identity is like
I just you grow up with the pageantry and you get to go to the stadium, you fall in love. And I will say this in this town, and I'm pretty positive that this is a true statement. I don't think more people from the city, hate Notre Dame, as much as they do love them. There's so many haters. Like we're the most hated school in the country. Yeah. Because we're, because we're perceived as better than everybody.
Ah, I see. I can't understand why you'd be hated for that. I'd go over my head. And
I don't mean performance-wise. We just the perception is because we are independent and we don't join a conference and blah blah blah. People hate us. But either way, this is
You're not in the Big 10 or the Pac-10 or the 10-fold.
Nope, we're an independent. We have been our entire lives.
Okay. I don't know what any of that means, but okay.
We don't have a conference. We are our own entity.
Who do you play against?
We schedule 12 independent games a year. We play against just 12 opponents every year.
So is there not standings though?
Not for us.
Is it not how college sport? Well, then how do you know if you get into a bowl game if you're we won our conference of one? Woo!
Because if we go 11-1 and the playoff committee deems us worthy, we make the playoff.
Oh, you just get deemed worthy?
That's how it works. Unless you win a conference, you get. Ohio State didn't win their conference. They're in it. They're an at-large bid.
So who decides that they get to go in? Just some dudes like, you guys are good.
Yeah, it's based on like strength of schedule, like the opponents. If you beat better teams,
a group of people decide who the 12 best teams are. And we're
so it was like in the 70s who decided to be the NWA champion. All the NWA people would have a meeting and decide that that's. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yep.
It used to be like before they like any form of playoff, they usually just select the final two.
They would just vote.
Okay. Yeah, they just vote on who would be in the final. Now it's actually like now it's actually like a 12-team playoff. Like there's a chance Alabama would have been in this year and they got like beat by way worse teams.
Alabama would have beat Houston last night.
Yeah. That was a mess of a game. You can tell my anxiety, the closer we get to 4:30, my anxiety is spiking, and I'm getting progressively more nervous.
Who do you guys have again?
The Packers.
Oh, you're gonna win. They're on my. I wish I had my playoff thing. I'll see if I can get the lady to bring it. Anyway, continue.
It's Mrs. Boris, you schmuck. You treat her with some respect.
But yes, we are technically a wrestling show. The huge week in wrestling this week for international folks, a full week of debuts on Netflix for the American friends like Pluggo. We got
us. We're American friends
on Netflix. After like a week of digesting and thinking about it, how do you feel the debut went? Because like personally, I feel like they got some stuff right, but like the WWE has and as everyone knows, in one particular case, where it went real bad,
a problem.
They lean too heavy on legends, and like people just sort of accept that like legends bringing ratings, but I don't think so because like I was checking like social media and TikTok, and most people who were like just checking out Raw for the first time were like drawn to people like Roman Reigns instantly.
Yeah.
Like I think the bringing legends don't do as much. I think they could have done more, like by debuting new talent. I think not debuting Penta was a lost thing this week. Like that could have been an easy match to squeeze in there. But how did everyone feel when for like week one for what you've seen, for what you've heard?
I didn't.
Or Boris, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't. I only watched a little bit of Raw here and there, and what I saw, and I'm going to be that guy who's always that guy, but I hated everything that I saw. The curtain lifting, that curtain thing was kind of cool, but curtain lifting with Triple H, so he can either A, get his ego boost, or B, make sure everybody knows that Vince McMahon don't live here anymore. And then, The Rock, while you have your actual talent sitting in the crowd while The Rock's in the ring, I think that's a bad look. I don't know why Undertaker had to come out and completely steal that moment. I know people are saying, oh, he gave her the rub. No. To me, it was more like, okay, little girl, now you've won your little belt. You sit on the side and let the big dog show you how it's done. I didn't like, I agree with you, Lawrence. You focus on your talent that are going to be there next week and the week after and the week after. I know there's new fans and I know that those are recognizable faces, but The Rock's, like, if he was going to shoot an angle, that's fine. But there was literally no purpose to him being there with his fake belt. I didn't like any of what I saw. But I didn't see much.
Does my mic sound okay? Do I sound good?
You're kind of blippy sounding.
What is
I don't know if that.
I don't know what's going on. Bad, better? I don't know.
Like you I can hear you. Like I can understand you. It's fine. It's just clicking, if that makes sense.
Well, why is it clicking? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But as I've said a couple of times already about the Raw on Netflix, that was not for the diehard fan. That was
you're right.
That was for the let's get these lapsed fans and these casual fans and show everybody in the world what we're capable of. Although I had a much more enjoyable experience than Boris did. I didn't hate it as much as he did at all. I actually enjoyed myself thoroughly. I thought they pitched a pretty good game there outside of a couple of mishaps, but it is what it is.
I'm a curmudgeonly old son of a gun, but I will say the machine knows what it's doing because, man, can they throw an event. Like it did feel big time, and I'll give them credit for that. I didn't see much of NXT or SmackDown, but I thought it was very interesting. During commercial breaks, I was wondering what we would get here in Canada, and we just get like weird slow motion wrestler things while it says "we'll be right back" in various languages on the bottom of the screen. Yeah. So I was saying I want those for us here at Love Wrestling. Like I want one like me going,
Yeah. I did appreciate the actual countdown in the corner, so I know how long I have till the commercial's back, and sort of
fair,
guessing on intuition, like because you do start to get like you do sort of understand the commercial beats and know approximately how long.
We didn't get that
back, but having like the actual like clock counting down until it comes back was actually kind of convenient. I kind of appreciated that.
In a more serious question, when you guys become the 51st state, will you adopt the TV plan that Netflix has for the states where we're on Raw, CW, USA, or are we all going to end up on Netflix together as a one united front?
Grace, you're just getting Alberta. All you're getting is Alberta. They want it so bad.
From Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA.
Alberta. From Ontario to Ottawa.
I do like having everything all in one place. And it's funny. I have a lot of like my younger friends who are not in the business, who never had the network, who are like, oh my God, all this cool stuff's on Netflix. Boris, tell me what to go watch, because they're younger and they know I lived through it all. So I'm like, go watch WrestleMania 17 and then call me after, because that's the best WrestleMania. But it's fun for me to see a lot of my friends go through and kind of start to dig through the back catalog. I hope we start to see some other promotions and stuff on there. But I mean, it's I think it's handy for us to have it all in one place. It's just weird to not have it on TV.
It is. It's goofy, but I get it for now. It'll probably change in course of time. But like I think Boris, you said it pretty much best. Is like, all right, so what's tomorrow going to look like? What's the following Monday going to look like? Like that was a lot of pomp, circumstance, and pageantry. Like it was great. But now, like, all right, what are you doing on a week-to-week basis now?
Yeah, like at the end, I think focusing too heavy on week one with all the legend was a mistake. Like, you got a chance. It's like when a TV show, like, have we seen like in past, like, move to another network or something? That's like exactly like they had to, like, they did it a little bit with like promos and different segments. Because they have to, like, they try to at least catch people up on what the current characters are doing, which, like, they did fairly well during this episode. Like, their current weekly characters, like, they sort of have to do, like, a small introduction to everyone.
Yeah.
Because it is sort of, like, week one for that show on this platform. So, like, people can catch up and know what's going on. So, like, I wish, like I said before, I wish they would have focused more. Like, I thought that Penta debuting, like you heard people played the in arena pop of when they played the video when Penta's video came up, and it was a massive pop. Like I don't know if they weren't.
Penta.
Yep. Like it would have
or
been
have
so
Becky Lynch come back, which I think was on the table as well at some point.
There was, and there was we had discussions, I think, on Thursday, and JPJ and them were saying like, lost in the shuffle, could have got lost in the shuffle. But that's again, I always argue that that's kind of a subjective thing. How do you know it would have got lost in the shuffle had Penta made his debut on that show? It might have been the coolest thing that happened all night, but I get why they want to move it, but that's a disappointment for sure. What do you guys think about like the amount of matches versus time there wasn't match? Because there's only like 4 or 5 matches, and there was like hours of time in between. Like
like what the hell did they fill that show with? I heard it was 4 matches out of 3 hours. What was it? I know there was a lot of celebrities there, and Macaulay Culkin was there, and they have to plug Netflix shows.
Macaulay Culkin rules. Like,
no, I got no hate for
him and Kieran Culkin were both there.
Kieran
after winning the Golden Globe, goes to celebrate at Monday Night Raw.
That's right.
I like the actual diehard celebrity wrestling fans.
Kieran Culkin is in a great movie about the history of black metal that you should watch. I forget what it's called, but it's interesting.
Airheads.
Airheads is a great movie, but no, not Airheads. Airheads is a fantastic movie, though. It kind of reminded me with all the legends too. Something that somebody told me, and I wish I could remember who it was, but years ago in PWA, we would bring in bigger name talent. We'd have like the AJs and the Joes and stuff come through, and some of the guys were cool with losing, and I forget who it was, but they're like, yeah, the guy that I'm losing to, he's here next month. I'm not. So that's kind of what I think about with like the lead. Like The Rock's not going to be there every month. Let's focus on the guys who are going to be there every week.
Yeah, and The Rock probably, as of right now, won't be at WrestleMania this year because he's got to do reshoots of the live action Moana, which is an actual thing that's happening.
Oh, that's a damn shame that The Rock won't.
Yeah, they did like it.
About that.
Yeah, so like that's why they sort of like awkwardly killed off his or he didn't use his final boss character this week. Like he was like congratulating Cody, which was so weird. It was so intensely weird that like the last time we saw him, we can't hear you, Plug Up. You're muted.
Yeah,
I'm muted.
I can't hear you at all. Oh,
I said that was, oh my God, I'm having mic issues today. But that was a weird moment for us, the diehard fan who knows what happened. But the last fan, they were like,
yeah, the fans are coming don't know. They just know The Rock is there. And like, he's a good guy. But like, the last time we saw him, he was beating the shit out of Cody with a belt and trying to present it to his mom. Like, it's so weird that the next time they see each other on camera, and he was, the last time we saw him, he got super weird about Cody's belt, where it almost seemed like a fetish. Like, let The Rock touch your belt. Let The Rock feel the leather on The Rock's chest. Oh, yeah.
The Rock has a Tide box in his window.
Yeah. Just got super weird with that belt. But yeah, like it was them choosing for The Rock to be sort of a baby face and not go back to the final boss character was weird. And like clearly it makes sense that there are reports that he's not going to be at Mania this year. So they're trying to.
But did you watch NXT, Lawrence?
I watched a little of it. I didn't watch. I watched the beginning part so far. I am quite happy. Like it happened pretty much exactly like we all thought it would. They're ushering a new generation of NXT right now.
I meant The Rock stuff.
Oh yeah, The Rock cussing
and saying that he's 20 steps ahead, and the people that complained about the Monday night spot just should know your role and shut your mouth because something's coming. Basically, is what he's saying, and he's 20 steps ahead of us. I think he was enjoying a few libations that night, and just start talking.
Just hear Ava dealing with her drunk dad at work.
Dad,
it's not enough. She has to deal with the NXT parking lot. She's got.
I promise you wouldn't embarrass me, Dwayne.
Yeah. Go out and say whatever you want, Dwayne. Just get out of my office. I'm trying to work.
Yeah,
I'm a respected member of this NXT community, and you're in here just fucking this up for me
and slapping Ethan Page's ass.
What a huge moment for Ethan Page, though, to get like the Rock rub there,
and Ethan Page's ass specifically.
Yeah,
compliment to getting put over.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're done here. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Bye. I got to go get the Tide box out of the window. Mrs. Plugger doesn't realize I'm actually home. I didn't leave. I'm downstairs.
Did anybody check out Battle in the Valley last night? I meant to, but I was watching hockey, and then I was Saturday Night Loving.
Yeah, no, I
they did not
football when I fell asleep. I had like my family birthday thing.
That's right. Lawrence has had another trip around the sun.
Yeah,
looking better than ever.
Yeah, I was at my mom's yesterday, and like it was sort of like the combine of like our schedules this year didn't work out for everyone to come down for Christmas. Our cousins came down for Christmas, so it was like a 3 sort of celebrations, like my birthday, a little bit of Christmas, and like there's the first time they saw my brother after he announced he got engaged. So like yeah.
And then The Rock showed up and drunkenly
cut a promo
that made no sense.
Off his ass on Terramona and just showed up at my house.
And it just was like, listen, Lawrence, I want to be friends with you, but you got to be nice to my daughter.
Yeah. You also have a sweet ass. Yeah. Do you have a title belt for me to hold? Let me hold that belt.
Hey, listen, it worked because they popped the biggest rating NXT has popped in a long time. So next week when they drop all the way back down into the 600s, I'm not a ratings guy. It'll be kind of funny to be like, well, the Rock, the Rock's a draw.
I wonder how it did in Canada, specifically, or like international now with Netflix. Like, I wonder the even though Netflix hides all their ratings, like it's the most easy. Like for wrestling, going on streaming is the best thing because they can just work their numbers completely. Because Netflix,
I want to say they did release some numbers about what Raw did. I don't know.
Yeah, they did release. I think they did
and it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Yeah,
I saw 650K is what I saw, but I don't know.
But again, it's WWE and Netflix, so like it could be just people who viewed it for a minute or clicked on it after. Like you don't know exactly how their numbers because Netflix is famously secretive about their numbers.
But I gotta say, I do enjoy it being easier to access because I have Netflix now and I don't have to like. Oh, look at that there. You have the Boss Man saying they average 2.6 million people, total 4.9 million viewers. That's good. That's very good.
I thought it was going to be substantially more than that.
Hey, 4.9 million viewers total is
I mean, huge. That's not a number they've done anytime recently, but I thought it was going to be like honestly in the tens. Because of the amount of people who have Netflix who might have checked it out.
Next week or tomorrow when Penta debuts, you watch that number, it's going to be a 12.
Does he have an announced match or no?
Yeah, it's going to be again.
Well, Chad Gable, right?
Yeah, it's not announced, but it's one of those.
Yeah, he's facing Chad Gable's wrestling a secret luchador.
Do you think they're going to pull the swerve where like
I hope so.
Dragon Lee comes out first, but then Penta's like, nah, I got this. Lee.
No, it should be one of the conquistadors. This is why MRB says I can't.
Maybe it's Dominic Mysterio.
There you go.
Oh man, everyone would be so mad.
And then Penta comes out and like beats the crap out of Dominic Mysterio, raging cheers from the crowd, and then he beats. Oh yeah, you see, I'm a booking genius. Watch it.
Zach saying Rey Mysterio number 30 at the Rumble Part 2.
Speaking of the Rumble, John Cena has announced his entrance into the Rumble.
Yeah,
told me a ticket that he should win it, and then Roman Reigns said he's in the Rumble.
Which is wild for the first time in years
since he had
Roman Reigns won the title. He's in the Rumble. Like we're looking at a jam-packed Rumble live from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Is it 2 nights this year or no?
One.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
I think
next year is going to win it.
He should. He might.
Like we could have a Final Four that is wildly old adjacent, but like we could have Cena, Punk. Like this is a star-studded like A-list as it comes at Royal Rumble.
Oh, can I go back to one thing about Raw really quickly? I apologize, we're jumping around a little bit.
No,
but does it concern anybody? And I'm not being facetious here. Does it concern anybody that they thought that trotting Hogan out there was going to be okay? Just to me, that is the most tone-deaf thing I've ever seen in my life, that they would put Hogan out there.
A tone-deaf moment coming from the WWE Boris.
No, I know, but like it's usually Vince is the tone-deaf one.
Yeah.
Like how could they have thought that was going to go any other way?
And they signed him to a sponsorship deal too. Like,
well, it's like the beer that he like. He does. I don't even think he cones. He just like the name, the face of.
And I bet his beer sucks. It's not as good as Brainbuster Brew.
It definitely has the tenor of a beer that came out in the backlash of one transgender person getting one beer with their face on it. Like it came out like last year. Like it was definitely one of those like we need an American beer because Bud Light ain't American no more.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Yeah, like it was so dumb. Like he is like I mentioned it before, like I mentioned on Twitter, it was he's the perfect storm of like there isn't just one reason why he was booed. There's like two major reasons why he was booed, but like the man is thoroughly vehemently racist, never apologized for his racism, and people on the right wing just don't want to accept that or understand that because
they just don't
about
care.
Them. Yeah, they don't care. They try to pass off that's just Los Angeles being liberal, which Los Angeles or LA and California whole is a massive state there's a lot of conservatives there too that vote conservative. Just so happened to be a blue state, but it was also the fact that he was the most famous wrestling Trump supporter too. Like Undertaker did a podcast with him. There's a difference between that and Hogan being at the RNC making international news.
Yeah.
Speaking and continually and saying racist things about Kamala Harris on there, again, quadrupling down. And on top of that, he is also like, he's the generation where it's like at this point, his thing is played out and he's tired and boring and just giving all three is the reason why he's getting thoroughly booed.
And the funny thing is, if you even take out, and this is going to sound flippant, but like take out all the politics and all that, but just all the stories that have come out of him in wrestling and all the, the way he held people down and screwed people over just in wrestling makes him a terrible person. And then you double down on all of the other just horrible nonsense, like putting him on television. Poor Jimmy Hart's waving that flag. He looks good for 80, Jimmy Hart, but he must have had some work done. Plug, I think you're muted again, brother.
What's going on? I got to figure out how to work this. I'm a professional. And then the whole like Michael Cole being like, we're not here without him. We're not, and it's just like this whole rah. They were trying.
They were like Triple H from the headset trying to play it off, like trying to ignore the obvious at first. Although McAfee did get one joke in quickly when they were talking about the beer, and he's like, I don't think they'd like the beer here. As they're cutting off, like making like he was the only one that made a slight reference to him getting booed.
Which is pretty interesting that he took a shot at the sponsor. I wonder how that got perceived backstage.
I cut my hair yesterday and my head is like incredibly shiny. What happens if I like double down on this light here? Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. You could power the grid with my Oh boy. Anyway,
I can't understand what you're saying, Boris, because your head's hella shiny.
I just wanted to double back on the Hogan thing because I don't understand how any of that is a thing. Yeah, is there a pay-per-view between the Rumble and Mania?
No, there is. There's Elimination Chamber in Toronto.
Oh, right. Not Fastlane or Great Balls of Fire.
No, it's Elimination Chamber.
They stopped doing that a few years back because I think they wanted to give the Mania a bigger build. Because they would do that. They do like elimination chamber, and then like Roadblock.
Yeah, or they got rid of No Way Out, but No Way Out for a while.
Yeah, something until like.
I used to be a big fan of like the last pay-per-view, and then there'd be like 8 weeks of TV. Like, give me all that, because I'm a sucker for hype. Give me all. I don't want pay-per-view, and then 3 weeks later it's Mania. I want 8 weeks of TV to just make me want Mania bad.
This just in, Boris hates pay-per-views. He wants just 8 weeks of TV straight up.
I just want 8 weeks of TV.
Oh, the boss is running.
Yeah, you guys, you screwed up.
Am I fired?
Yeah.
Man. Did I overload the circuits with my shiny head?
It's been a good run.
So why were we talking about swinging at the top of the stream?
Because we party, bro.
Because we party.
I show this.
Hey, don't kink shame, Zach. Come on.
Yeah.
For a good time.
As long as it's legal and consensual, we
Yeah.
don't kink shame on this program.
Zach might want to check his window
right.
for a box of Tide, I think, is what's going on.
Yeah. Or a pineapple. Got pineapple in your front yard, bud?
Yeah, I got an upside down pineapple going on.
Yeah.
I've got no such things.
We'll start calling Zach SpongeBob because he lives on a pineapple. Zach's like, I made him. Yeah, Zach.
I'm gonna save you.
during the stream.
I'm gonna save you, Zach. I'm saving this whole thing right now. How tone deaf do you think it was trotting Hogan out there like that? I know we've beaten this to death, but like it was a bad look.
Oh, dude. What's to be said about Hulk Hogan in 2025 that hasn't already been said? I just like, even if he didn't espouse like harmful views out loud, and even if he was like a carte blanche in that regard, his act is so stale. Like, why bring him out whatsoever? Like, and like the people cheering for him, like, what are we even cheering for anymore? He comes out, he rips his shirt, he couldn't even get it all.
Oh yeah, that's the funniest thing. We're like a
hanging off
diaper.
of his ass the whole time.
Yeah. Like
People are parasocial with a body slam from 40 years ago, and it's unhealthy.
Zach Rack spitting fire.
Like,
well,
you
that's why we
mentioned
won't be the
earlier-
51st state.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, Boris, about like his outside stuff too. Like literally, I've seen like there's the off the record interview with Mick Foley, where they played back another interview where he interviewed Hulk Hogan earlier, and Hulk Hogan out of nowhere just buried Mick Foley like an asshole, saying he's without any evidence, was out of shape, like that's why he retired early, and I could still go, brother, and like just overly, and Mick Foley just shreds, like in the nicest way possible, shreds him afterwards for being like, yeah, ask Shawn Michaels if I'm out of shape, ask Stone Cold Steve Austin, ask The Rock, all these people I've worked with. Like he was just like, that's not somebody who you want, like even just like a backstage person. That's just a dick. He's just a dick who, like, brother, if it wasn't for steroids, there wouldn't be no 18-inch pythons. It's not vitamins that are doing that. Like, be for real. And you could barely move in the ring in your prime in the first place. Like, you dropped the worst like jock in the world. You're like the most overhyped person, and it ran stale. It ran stale 15 years ago, and you're desperately hanging on for like it's the saddest thing in the world. Like, to desperately hang on to any fact of any person trying to cheer you at all. Like, that's why you're going on that, like, the like Republican thing, just because you need people who still will applaud for you.
I think you're even being generous with 15 years ago. I'm thinking about the last time like I was excited to see Hulk Hogan. I mean, again, I don't mind telling you, like I used to really be into Hulk Hogan. Of course, I can't be that because I see what's in front of my eyes.
I was a kid, and he was my hero when I was a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the last time I was like enthusiastic about him was like his SmackDown run in like 2002. Like that was really fun stuff. I don't mind saying, but yeah, that we're talking 22 years ago.
Is that a Green Phantom hat?
It is a Green Phantom hat.
That is tremendous work.
Get with the green.
What's the next topic du jour? We're on a roll here. What else are we going to bury with 4 shovels?
Well, Boris, you are the host of the AEW Watch Along. How was AEW this week? How is seeing Kenny Omega back?
AEW tends, especially with myself and Ophelia, the show tends to get away from us with all the silliness. So I don't have a great memory of what actually happened on the show. I know, yes, Kenny Omega did come back. Apparently, Darby Allin's ready to take some time off to climb Mount Everest. That's going to happen. So we wish.
I was there derailing that show.
Yeah,
what's
like
what?
Apparently that he's.
I was there derailing your show on Wednesday, so you weren't paying attention.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You forgot all about me.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool,
Jeez.
Boris. Cool.
Why is everybody so mean to me today? Like,
Kenny Omega's back. That's awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Great match at Wrestle Dynasty.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's clear they're setting up him and Okada for All In. Was it All In Texas this year? Like,
Why are you shaking your head, Zach?
Big fan of both those guys. I think they're going to make tremendous magic in the ring. I think Kenny Omega needs to be further up the card, and not soon. I mean, like yesterday.
Yeah.
Zach Rouse shoots high on the Death Riders here.
I'm sorry. Like,
No, it's not.
Like, I'm gonna refer to Kylie from Fightful, who does wrestling makes us cry, like literally 12 right before the show, who like made reference that the Darby Allin climbing Mount Everest has sort of derailed their plans because he apparently he was supposed to be one of the linchpins to this.
Well, he was supposed to
Death Rider.
Yeah, he was supposed to climb it last year, but he broke his foot and got beat up in that match, and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, now
I heard the plans are derailed because Tony Khan wanted to book Mount Everest.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
All in Mount Everest, baby.
Mount Everest versus Kenny Omega. All in.
Vince never had the balls to do this. We're going to Mount Everest. It's like,
can you climb the mountain?
Bad ideas from WCW. They went to North Korea. We're going to Mount Everest.
If it is true and Malachi Black is leaving, I want to see Brody King just push to the moon. Yeah. I am a big fan. I know he doesn't have like the traditional, wrestler champion look, but I think that's one of the reasons why. But just you put him on the screen and he is commanding and people notice him. I'm a big Brody King guy. I'd like to see him get I guess I offended Zach with my love of Brody King, but I would like to see him get I mean, even if they want to make him the leader of what's left of the House of Black, or even just disband that and put him on his own and have him start mowing through a few people, kind of Brian Cage style, I would like to see them do more with Brody King.
Yeah, I agree with you fully. I think Brody King is a star. He looked great at Wrestle Dynasty. Like it is. That was a dude that like needs to be in Japan, dude. That just looks built for Japanese wrestling as well. And like, I think the House of Black should go to him when Malachi Black, like he should definitely be the de facto leader. And
who's left? Is it just Buddy Matthews and sort of Julia Hart, sort of
and Julia Hart and him,
Buddy Murphy?
Like who could they draft in the place of Malachi and then have Brody be the leader? Who's House of Black adjacent that would go good in there? Or go
I'd say Darby Allin.
I don't hate that actually. I don't hate the Beast Mortos idea at all.
Yeah,
the Outrunners.
House of Outrunners.
Why do I ask questions?
Imagine the Outrunners in the House of Black, just like slowly turning into the dark side. That would be fun. Don't lie.
Like 1 week, half the hairs dyed black, and then the next week, 3/4 of the hairs dyed black. I can see like vignettes of them like sitting in the tattoo chair going, "Oh my God, this hurts so bad." See, that's why MRB says I can't book.
That
never had a good idea.
Never, not once.
Yeah. No, actually, that's not true. I've had contributed a few things to.
I mean, the Boris Cave 5000 is a pretty good idea.
The what?
The Boris Cave 5000 back there is a pretty good idea.
You mean the ridiculously expensive Boristron 5000? Yes, which you can see. I'll give the plug at the end because I'm challenging all of y'all. You guys are going to do some work for me here. I'm getting this Boris Cribs thing over, whether you guys like it or not.
Fair enough. There you go.
But yes, I'm excited for Kenny Omega being back. I agree with you, Zach, that he should be the face of that company. I don't quite understand what they're fully doing with this storyline with Mox and the Death Riders. Like, it sadly is one of the things that isn't hitting as well as it should be. When you got Mox in the main event, like it just seems like absolute like there's a lot of talent there, and I'd like to see other people in that main event spot.
Yes, you need some fun in the House of Black.
Yeah.
The thing about like the Death Riders though is like I love their motive. I think it's so cool. Like it's something that they should be able to sink their teeth into. Mox and the Death Riders want a better AEW. They want the roster to step up.
Yeah.
But how it's translating on screen is like not dynamic. It's like it seems every episode recently has been ending in a beatdown or like a big attack or a big melee with
very
everyone.
formulaic. It's very NWO.
It's very NWO. Like yeah, exactly. You flip week to week on WCW Nitro, and you don't know which episode it is because it's always the NWO and a 20-minute Hulk Hogan promo. Like that's exactly how AEW has been ending lately. It's the same brawl. It's the same beatdown. They did something cool last night though with Powerhouse Hobbs, who just like mowed down everybody, and that was awesome.
Yeah. Like it's one of those we all know Powerhouse Hobbs is going to lose, but like it's nice to see him showcased. At least
what do you got the dirt sheets, bro? You know he's going to lose. Come on, dude. I don't know that. Every man with two fists has a fighting chance, my guy.
And that's why I put $10,000 on it. My family is going to be rich.
Your new House of Black. Okay, you got Brody King.
If I bet, go ahead.
Brody King is your leader. Julia Hart and Buddy Matthews, Murphy, whatever his name is, and then the Outrunners and Willow Nightingale. That is your new House of Black. Tell me the vignettes aren't just gold in my brain right now.
There you go.
If I put
$10,000 on Hobbs to win on Wednesday, that Boris Cribs vignette would suck because I'd be like, "This is my new box that I live in.
Yeah.
My family left me after I put a ill-advised bet.
This is the back of Target where I'm living now. Still has a box of Tide in the window somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, guys. I'm multitasking. I'm sure you're saying wholesome things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
But yes,
I was pumped to see Willow in Japan, though. I'm a big Willow Nightingale fan, especially after having her in LPW and what a just super cool person she was. All the success to Willow Nightingale.
Yeah. Chug. Oh.
It's brunch, man. Come on now.
You don't
This
get
is a classy. This is a class. Yeah, don't get white people ain't getting turned on brunch.
You don't get turned on brunch?
No.
Bottomless mimosas for Boris?
No. I got football downstairs. I'm ready.
When's the next mimosa match in AEW?
Who was that? Orange Cassidy and Jericho, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Zach. He just exploded.
When do we get the Mimosa Death Match Part 2?
What about Hulk Hogan in the Mimosa match?
He would blend. He'd blend right into the orange of the mimosa. All you would see is a little mustache floating at the top.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, we broke Zach.
Man. I love you, Zach. You know that.
I love you too, in spite of your best efforts.
Who would you book in a mimosa match if we had one?
Do you want me to leave again?
Yeah.
Like an LPW mimosa match?
Sure, why not?
Who do we put in an LPW mimosa match?
Gotta be Mars, right? Mars is good in every
No, because I want to see. Wow, my brain names are going out of the brain. I can picture him in my head now, and he's like the best guy ever.
This is why I don't get invited to brunch very often.
His shoot name is in my brain now, and his work name is not in my brain. Former Scramble Chat. T.Y. Jack. Wow, weird. I want T.Y. to do that running, like, dive over the top into the pool of mimosa.
Isn't like the AEW Mimosa match, isn't it like redundant? Because like Orange Cassidy is still there, sure, but Jericho isn't doing the bubbly thing anymore, so the Mimosa gimmick is dead.
We're kind of
way to be such a downer, Zach.
That's what I do. It's all about psychology, brother.
Yeah.
To be
psychology.
That's why they had that match. I did not do it like I wasn't paying that much attention.
Orange Cassidy versus Mariah May, because Mariah May still drinks champagne from time to time. There you go.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, brother. Nope. No, sir.
Do you don't want that match?
Zach, while we have you here, we have a big Quizplex coming up, don't we? Like,
Yes,
Oh,
we
yeah,
do. Thank
yeah,
you,
yeah.
Lawrence.
you're welcome.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm just going to
It's
swap
about-
places with
It's
Boris.
a
So I can
Mimosa
be...
death match.
It's not a mimosa death match. It's Quizplex. Once again, Little Mean Kathleen returns as your returning champion, your forever champ on Quizplex, and she is facing off with Channing Thomas and Tony Deppen. I want to
I
thank
love
LMK.
Tony Deppen. I'm a big
Oh.
Tony Deppen guy. When I saw that, I popped hard because I'm like, oh, maybe I can get him for SNL. Anyway, continue.
No, by all means. But I want to thank LMK because she chose a very timely charity for this month's Quizplex. We are going to be playing in support of the California Community Foundation, who are, of course, doing their best to offer wildfire relief. We are all aware of the fires going on in Los Angeles right now in California. It's a startling scenario, and every cause we play for on Quizplex is important, but this one is very timely. So you'll see a QR code at the very bottom of the screen. If you click that, you can go donate directly to the charity. And if you do so, you can buy some points for your player of choice ahead of Tuesday's game on Tuesday, January 21st, immediately after NXT.
Yeah, there's been here in Alberta the last number of summers we've had really bad fires. Fort McMurray had a lot of fires years ago, and then last year Jasper, which is a big tourist town here in Alberta, had a lot of structures burned down for wildfires. So here in Alberta, we're very familiar, and apparently we've been sending some water planes and stuff over there, and seeing the pictures coming out of that, it's scary, man. Like, I saw a video of a dude in his house who decided to stay, and he had windows on 3 sides, and it was just fire. It's scary stuff. I think like flooding is bad, but fires is a little worse. Flooding you can try to swim away. Fire, you just gotta.
Yeah, it happens quick. Like, it could be, especially with the winds. Like, we hope everyone there is safe and listens to the evacuation, because it's still very much an ongoing thing. The fires are popping up. Like, people are evacuating, getting home and coming back, and may have to evacuate again. So it's what neighbors do too. We've been Canada's been sending help over there, and we know what it's like in Alberta and northern Quebec too, and the forests here, the fires. It's the effects of climate change, and it's rough. And it's why I'm proud to work at a place like Love Wrestling, who does a silly Quizplex or a quiz show, but for great causes. Which it's barely a quiz show anymore. It's more the Little Mean Kathleen is going to win because they are the most popular person. Big money, Little Mean Kathleen.
Hey, again, we always say victory can be bought on Quizplex because the money goes to a very good cause.
So this month we need to outbid Little Mean Kathleen's highest bidder.
Here's the thing, Little Mean Kathleen says a lot that she doesn't know trivia, but every so often she will just drill a few quiz questions. She has won because she's gotten quiz questions right. It has come down to close with donations, but she has nailed some quiz questions.
She certainly has, but I could make a whole supercut of her responding to a question
and begging, literally begging, please, guys, please. But hey, it works. So
yeah.
Has there been any talk of booking her in LPW? Let's bring her in and have her wrestle. Have we talked about this? I know American. She's American, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all American, Boris. God, dude.
Go to hell, Pluggo.
I was trying to be real. I'm sorry. I want Zoe and Little Mean Kathleen to fight for Quizplex points on a pole match. There you go. You can book.
There you go.
Well, I mean, all of 7 have each had runs as the Quizplex champ as well. So there's some competition in house for Quizplex within LPW.
An entire LPW card of just the most outrageous gimmicks Boris can think of. I'd be in for that.
Yeah, it's called Big Bad Boris's Aqua Size Extravaganza, and damn it, it's going to happen. I don't know when and where.
42, the Aqua Size Extravaganza.
That's right.
Have Mars with the thickness one? Or is they one of the team?
Yeah, both of them won individually, and so I put them as a tag team. Our only episode of a tag team quiz parts ever against MXM.
Yeah,
one of my favorite episodes. Yes, they are champions.
MX Zone won, and I think MXM won, and then Thing won individually too, right? So
that rant on Dijak was epic. Talent.
Dijak had a run as well, as did Miles Blackwell. We had LMK is like one certainly the most, but there's been a few other.
Miles Blackwell was like the most consecutive months.
I scored the least amount of points in LPW history.
-8.
And
Friend,
I was the one who's Go ahead.
I apologize. I just got a memo. I'm going to have to make a hard exit on this show. Continue your talks about upside down pineapples and Tide in the window accordingly. Thank you very much for welcoming me, and follow me at Smirkmouth on all the social media platforms. Friends, I'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Bye.
So this is my playoff bracket. I don't know if you can see, but I'm 2 for 2 so far from yesterday. Can you guys read that? Is that readable?
Yeah.
How's Buffalo doing? Are they winning or are they losing?
It's 10-7 last night. They're on commercial. Last I checked, it was 10-7 Buffalo.
This game. Okay. I like how you drew out a bracket when you could just go online now. And
we don't have a printer, and the lady did that. This is hers. Hers is already way busted because she lost both games yesterday.
Well, so what do you guys get if the winner gets the Tide box in the window?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Sorry, I brought that up.
I'm also
dealer's choice on this year.
I'm taking note, Boris, who you picked to get out of the NFC. I'm just making a mental note of it. I've made a mental note of every person who's done the same exact
bulletin board material for old Laurence.
100%.
I don't think anyone's beaten the Lions. That's all I'm saying. And then again, I'm very much a layman. I'm very new to NFL football, so don't take anything. I mean,
you're agreeing with all the experts. I mean,
I showed this to a buddy of mine who is a big NFL guy, and he's like, "Hey, you basically picked all the favorites." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that. I just went by what I've seen this season."
And we'll see in a few weeks, hopefully. But I'm still, as we get closer to 2:00 and we wrap up this show, and the Eagles game starts at 4:30. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm becoming a nervous wreck. I don't look past any opponent. As we wrap up with once again football talk to end the show, there hasn't been a team that they've lost their games, but they haven't been beaten. Is how but they've lost because of stupid mistakes they made, like fixable mistakes, which they fix the next week.
Go Birds!
And it's like I was talking to Melissa, my lady, yesterday. She's like, "It's only one game." I'm like, "Yeah, football's savage. If you just other sports, best of 7, you have an off game, you can kind of come back. Where football, if you take your foot off the gas for a second, you're done."
Yeah, but also like even a best of 3 series would be so brutal on the body.
Well, you would die. Yeah,
you would die. Like there's a reason why they play once a week.
Yeah.
Except around Christmas time, they play 3 times in 11 days.
Yeah, they did that to Kansas City. That was just rough.
And Baltimore.
Kansas City had to play 3 times in 11 days.
Because they had a Christmas Day game, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They had to play 3 times in 11 days, which is just rough. But as we wrap up, Pluggo, I'll start with you. What do you have going on this week? You mentioned an article earlier.
Did I? I do, yeah.
Yeah, you do have an article coming out.
I do. I write stuff now. I try to. My top 5 things that happened last week will be out later today. 5
PM, I hear.
5 top 5 at 5. You'll have to just see who made the list. I started it last week. It's at Love Wrestling .ca. I can't speak. But then you can find me, Mr. Pluggo, on all social media platforms. You just search my face. I'm there. My name. It's all there. You'll see it. You'll be like, oh, that guy. And then Between Two Beards this Thursday night, 8 p.m. with JPJ. We've got Big Ben Ortman's coming on to talk about his LPW match with Michael Richard Blaze, where it's going to be a good time. And then Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. with Blair Pacheco for Exposure. We're going to be talking the People vs. GCW. I also have an LPW show with Ben Oman coming out, talking about the state of the Rads.
Ooh. Okay.
Boris, what do you got going on this week?
Wednesday night, I'll be back, I assume, with Ophelia Payne for the AEW Dynamite watch along. There's going to be no Saturday Night Love this week. I'm going to go to Calgary and visit my mom. So no SNL this week. And if you go to my my X account, which you see right there, you can watch the first episode of Big Bad Boris Cribs, where I give you a tour of Big Bad Boris World Headquarters. And I'm calling out to all of you guys, like everybody, like behind you, Lawrence, you got all kinds of cool gimmicks and gadgets back there. Pluggo, you do too. I want you guys to make a little tour of your streaming area and send it to me. And I want to do more episodes of Big Bad Boris Cribs. That's all we're on my X account. You could watch that. It's kind of a fun little thing. I thought would be a fun little thing. Plus, Dustin made a really cool intro for it. So I want to
do the Method Man style MTV Cribs, where it's like, that's my money box. It was like a box of dollar bills on its fridge.
Yeah,
I love that. Like a lot of them people just faked it, and it was like straight up just rented houses.
Yeah.
Like those cribs. Like the only thing more fake than that was the Pimp My Ride.
You guys wait till
I used to love that show too.
None of those cars left that place because they were not street legal. It's like,
no, not
you
even
like
close.
swimming. We built an entire pool in your car. We didn't change the engine or anything. It's still got a shitty engine. You're gonna break down in 2 years.
Shit won't start, but you can play Xbox.
They literally built a flamethrower, then they out of somebody's car, and they had to stop them. Like, no, you've got to take that out immediately. We cannot do that at all.
I'm looking around
pretending to leave.
I'm looking around my crib, and I'm wondering how in depth I should go with it.
Yeah, I want, for real though, I want you to shoot that video and then you ship it over to me and I'll edit it and we'll do it, because you got Warrior Wrestling stuff back there and a random C4 can. I see Danhausen peeking out there. You got over Lawrence, you got Money in the Bank, and there's a banner of something behind you. I can only see kind of half of it. Oh, okay. And you got some figures and stuff. Like, I think it's what people have back there, I think is cool. So I want to do that for real.
Yeah. As for us at Love Wrestling, our next show, our next time live will be Tuesday with Firmly WWE with JPJ and Drew. And Tuesday evening, the Blowing Off stream returns with, so far, I think the only one that's announced on the stream here is Matt Viviani. There will be other friends joining Zach. Potentially some returning guests that we know of so far. But yes, we're Blowing Off stream coming back again this Tuesday. We'll be playing some Jackbox. We'll be playing some games late night on Tuesday night. And as for me, you can follow me at KartsyNDG on Blue Sky, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And you can catch me back here next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern to 11 Mountain Time. I did it. I got through it. Running out of air at the end. Thanks everyone for coming out, hanging out in the chat. Philia, we got Dare Amazing coming out. ATF Media, Fernando, Everything Pro Wrestling. Thank you all for hanging out this week with us. Sandy, as always, coming out at the beginning. We all appreciate you. We will catch you back here next week. We'll see you back same time, same place. Have a good week.
Bye.